Hello, 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 hello. Man. Tiger Wraith. Cav Boss. Glad to see you. Yeah, whatever happened to Twitch last week, I mean, it nuked every setting I ever had in OBS, and I guess I didn't realize it got the microphone too, and I didn't puzzle out the intro video. Was borked too. So anyway, just no sound on the intro video. It is what it is. Glad you all decided to drop by for a minute. Here I am, sponging buildings. Kindergarten James is back. Welcome. Turn this down some more. So yeah, that's what's going on here. We're going to try and replicate some of those colors over there without going through all my secret weapon colors. But this one is less so. This is a Miskatonic Gray, which is, of all things, the strange color I decided to put on next. Shake it up. Well, Tiger Wraith, I hate to disappoint you, but you're not going to see much here tonight. This is a show full of, I don't know, nothing. I don't know. Just slapping paint sideways. Slapping paint sideways. Get some of these guys out of the way. Start with this one. Get this up here. Tap the stuff off. And then we just go at it. Just come in here and maybe a little bit less. Just drop some, twist it around. Just kind of highlights. We're going to cover most of this up, to be honest with you. The real colors are those secret weapon blues, but a little bit of this will shine through. So, like I said, the idea is just to not have it look like, unfortunately it does here, you can see I've got a pattern going, so we'll have to get rid of some of that. Try and make it as random as possible. Not only in location and, you know, like turning the thing, but also intensity. So sometimes I want to hit it a little harder and get some bigger splotches. Oh, not that side. That side's different. Probably this side will end up being a little different too, but we'll see. It's got like kind of a different facade on it. I saw you were putting up some fence. Is this porch project part of the fencing or just in the same ballpark? What's the deal? Good enough. Alright, so just Project Central over at the Tiger household. We're finally going to get some doors and windows installed around here. Coming up in the next couple of weeks. Had to order doors and windows, and man, they took, I don't know, they took a long time to get in, that's for sure. I mean, people had told me that they would, but I was just amazed. In the past, Lowe's was like, man, we will sell you stuff today. You want to back your truck up and take it home with you now? But nowadays, it's like everything is out of stock or custom order, 57 days for production sort of thing. There seems to be a common theme. I was talking to one of the Similar brothers a week and a half ago or so, and he was experiencing similar faulty craftsmanship sort of housing woes. Although I think his may have been worse than yours, just from the litany of unfortunate accidents. It's like a title to one of those Lemony Snicket books. Lemony Snicket and the Unfortunate Money Pit. That kind of thing. Just the porch, Tiger, or are you going for the whole house? Yeah, roof is in our future too, but I'm not going to do metal or anything. Man, those things are expensive. Probably in the spring, I'm thinking. Just about the time everybody else wants a roof too, so I can wait for 7 months for the shingles to get manufactured or something, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Tiger 8. That's I mean, I suppose there are people that probably do their own roofs, and more power to them. Not me. Good Lord. I think I mentioned this, I don't know, like an episode or 3 ago, but dexterity is definitely my dump stat, if you know what that means. And I do not want to find myself up on top of a roof. Which is really funny, because when I was in the Army, we did all kinds of rappelling and coming out of helicopters on ropes and all kinds of crap. When I was only a medic, but you know, the real soldiers, that's what I call them, they would do it, and then when they were done, they'd be like, "Hey, you guys want to give this a shot?" And I was like, "Heck yeah!" I was dumb and young, and God grief. Nowadays, no, I don't think so. I'm not getting up on the roof unless there's a really good reason. There you go. Planning for owner obsolescence. I don't know if John is still listening, but I've decided I think what I'm going to do for to continue my experiment with the video sides of these buildings, instead of putting on more of those anime manga things, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and print out get some digital art and print it out as a photograph, and then cut the photograph up to fit and see if I can get a little more high-tech looking stuff. Oh yeah, sorry, Tiger Wraith. I didn't realize. So here's the deal. So you know how calves all have, like video skin and LCD armor and stuff like that? Well, I decided buildings should have the same thing. I feel like you've seen these before. And so to me, this is meant to be like the side of the building is displaying a giant ad or a TV show or something like that, right? So that's what the tape is for. I just decided not to bother painting the parts that I'm just going to cover up with other, with some kind of art. So anyway, I'm going to try and get something, I don't know, maybe a little more high tech. I'm not unhappy with the way those came out, but I don't know. The nature of the material, that sort of very organic, very earthy, sort of soft paper that the manga are printed on, just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't have the right kind of sheen or feel to it. So I'm thinking of getting, like I said, getting some art printed as a photograph and then just trying to work with the photograph and see if that'll do the right thing. John had made a comment back when I first did those about why didn't I, something about why didn't I ask him for some art or something. So here's your opportunity, John, if you're listening and you have some art you think might be appropriate, hit me up and I will print it out and try and use it as the side. And if I like the way the new stuff works out, if the photographs work out better than the paper that I just showed you, I'll just put the photographs over the top of the paper. I'll just peel that stuff off and do those over again. So last in, first out, the LCD screens. Well, that would be freaking cool, but I'm not just a guy trying to fill some time for John until he hires a real artist. I never in my life ever had any desire to stream. I'm only doing it as a favor for John. It is nice to hang out with you guys. Other than that, we don't get a chance to talk very much. So, that's a side benefit of it. But this is not my, not the way I would spend my free time. Other than, like I said, helping John out. Which is the thing I do enjoy doing. So, I guess in some ways I have to say this. It's not bad. Just, I don't know. I'm actually a pretty quiet person. Very much not attention seeking. Well, if you decide to make some LCD screens that'll fit on the side of my buildings, Tiger Wraith, and you can get the costs down reasonable, I will certainly acquire some from you. And then you can have all the credit and we can have genuine LCD screen buildings. That would be fantastic. So like I said, be prepared to be bored. I got a whole bunch of this terrain stuff. And then after I get done with these, I'm going to switch over and do John's MDF buildings. I cut some of those parts out the other day. Somewhere. Yeah. I got some of this stuff I'm getting ready to. This will as soon as I get these guys finished painting, I'm gonna put together some of these MDF buildings, and then after I get those done, I've got a giant pile of other MDF building-y things I'm going to work on. These are not from John, so I don't know if I'll get a chance to do these on stream. But yeah, I just decided, you know, instead of having to, so I was cleaning my garage the other day and I was looking for a place to put this stuff, and I'm like, why don't I stop doing that and just assemble and paint them? And then I won't, you know, then I'll have a different kind of storage problem, but at least they'll be useful. Nice. Nice. Keep up the faith. Keep up the good work, Tiger Wraith. Keep up the good work. I saw that ad. Well, I call it an ad. There was a post this week about a game, and I was confused if it was a sales ad or just people playing. When I clicked on it, it was like, "Are you interested in buying this?" And then when I mentioned it, somebody said, "Yeah, it's all for sale." So I was confused. I love the way those miniatures look, and I love the way that terrain looks. I'm actually pretty pleased with the way these guys are turning out. They're not terrible. I wish, like I said, back when I first got them, I'd had the foresight to do something inside the windows, because now that's going to be a real pain in the butt. But it is what it is. So Tiger Wraith, when you do these demos, what's your goal? I mean, you just running people through the basic rules, or are you trying to? What are you looking to do? Maybe I can pick up some tips for the times when I end up doing something similar. It's hard to get this sponge in here. That's okay. We'll sort that out later. I don't know what a lenticular card is, Cthulhu. Is that some ancient secret that your cultists have discovered throughout the course of time? Is that some artifact by which we can summon you? What is this lenticular card you speak of? .3D style hologram trading card. Huh. I mean, that's actually not a terrible idea, but the only ones I can think of are like Pokemon cards. I'm assuming there are others. That's a pretty sweet idea too. Darn it, Cthulhu. How did you get to be so smart? What is it about being an ancient elder god that makes you wiser than the rest of us? Can you post a link over in Discord or send me one or something, Mr. Cthulhu? Or if you've got one that's appropriate for the stream, I could let you could post it here and I could approve it. I mean, I'm open to all kinds of cool ideas. You know, I mean, I don't want to spend $30 a building or anything, but I'm definitely, you know, I'm open to pay a couple of $2 or $3 a building to get something pretty cool. That's what I think the photographs will be. You know, by the time I buy some you know package of licensed art and then have it printed as a photograph, that's probably going to cost me $25 or $30, maybe more, maybe 50. Good Lord, what am I doing? Krugerian? So now I have to ask, are you talking about your own abilities, or are we referring to the ancient elder one over there in the corner? Dissing out the good advice, the techno-babble. Yeah. Yeah. Stay away from the stove. Learn to pay attention to your body. Listen to your emotions. They're trying to tell you something even if they don't make sense. Age comes with wisdom. You may not understand how to interpret it, but it's there. Even if it's nothing more than, my shoulder hurts every time I do this. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Good grief, this part of this building is annoying. Alright, good enough. Alright, one more to go. Super Mario lenticular Valentine cards, 32 for $10. Well, that's pretty sweet. I'm gonna have to Google this when we get off of here. So, Gimli. No. This is October, the month of zombies and the undead. We don't believe you. We think you're secretly some sort of monster trying to trick us into coming down the hallway to give you a hug. That sure looks like a hug symbol you put up there. I'm calling shenanigans on you, Gimli. Krugerian, fire support isn't as useful as it looks on the card. You know, like anything, right? It kind of depends on the die rolls. And you can make fire support pretty thick. But so I don't know the details of what you're talking about exactly, but I mean, it can be an integral part of a successful force. But I don't think you can build I don't think it should be the main part of your force. I think it should be like an extra part of your force. I'm doing okay, Gimli. Just working on terrain. It has been a while. Nice to see you around. Tiger Wraith, are you disputing the usefulness of indirect fire? Do you have some wisdom to share with us? O Tiger of the Lake? Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are ways to turn a 7 into a strike point, successful strike point roll, right? If you had a line of sight to the strike point, I mean, already you only need a 9. Surely there's a way in there to dig out a +2 somehow. Surely. So a couple of weeks ago, when I got a chance to play Kithmar, Dan was he put a bunch of points into some indirect fire guys, and with careful play and using the new terrain shadow rules. Well, they're new to me. They're probably not new to the game, but they're new to me. Yeah, you can make it hard on the indirect fire guy. You can definitely make it hard. Yeah, chain fire pods can help. Well, so chain fire pods only help after you actually land the shot, and then they help a lot. So yeah, they are very helpful. You can get up to a +2 by having a third fire control system model in the squad. That would have made your 7s hit if you'd had a third one of those guys who could lend some help. I always like this song in the background. It's kind of Pink Panther-y to me, so I really like it. I think no, Tiger Rate. There's a cap. There's a limit now. I think +3 is the most you can get. There's definitely a hard-coded limit to how many fire control pluses can stack up together. I wasn't sure what the number was, but I knew there was definitely a limit. Now, you can still take advantage of having multiple people in your squad, in that if you miss with the first person or two, if you've got 5 guys in your squad with fire control system, you can still benefit. So I mean, there's still reasons to take those larger numbers of models, but you can't stack the bonus up beyond 2. Pretty sure. Yeah, Crew Grant, active phase array doesn't impact the strike point. Does the targeting? No, I don't think phase array does. What about the targeting computer? Does it benefit the strike point? Don't have the rules in front of me. Don't have them all memorized. Don't honestly play a lot of fire support. Not a lot. I have played a little tiny bit. More of the incidental stuff. So yeah, I guess at that point in time you just need another haunt, so you can get that number up to a +2. Don't forget, I think there's a modifier based on the range. Is that a modifier? I can't remember if it's a modifier to the strike point roll or a modifier to the deviation distance. I think it's the strike point modifier. So if you're launching at extreme range, it makes the strike point harder and long the same, I believe. So here's my understanding. John wants you to wants you to push in and fight. So if you build a force that pushes in and fights with all the weapons that you have at your disposal, you'll probably find the game rewards you for that. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. All right. Do. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. And target rate, that is for the strike point roll, right? Roll, yeah, I think you're right. So yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're only running 2 haunts, or you can only gather up a +2 sometimes, then yeah, you don't have much control over your destiny. All right, Gimli, I'm a little confused. You're asking the question that indirect fire is deliberate worse then? I mean, that's the gist of it, Tiger Wraith, yeah. I'm not sure what the increases this 4 modifier to a maximum of +2 means. Guessing that's a typo of some kind. Yeah, I think you've got the gist of it. And now's where I gotta find a way to emulate these blues. I mentioned last time that correct me if I'm wrong, Secret Weapon Miniatures has gone out of business, so these 3 colors are going to be hard to replace, I do believe. Oh, you can't see them, sorry. Secret Weapon, Rubber Highlight, Rubber, and Tire Black, which is what I made the bluish color of those other buildings out of. But if those are going to be hard to get, I kind of don't want to use those. Sponging buildings. Wow. See, at the 12 to 14 inch range, they're almost in their minimum range, so that's rough. I think you can probably get by with in the mid 20s. You'll be all right. Yeah, Tiger Wraith. I'm pretty sure if you go back and search the news, Secret Weapon Miniatures is closing their doors, unless something new has come up. That was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I heard that news. I'd be happy for you to prove me wrong. Trust me. So Gimli, Cab is a multi. It's a multi. I don't know what the right word is. Model for game, right? So you need to find a way to layer those in. So. Indirect fire becomes very powerful when the terrain constricts people or the scenario constricts people's models into small areas. That can be very, very powerful. I've played a tournament game where I lost on the first turn before I ever even got to go. I lost an 8 damage track model. It never even got to activate. And so, if you stack the bonuses and know what you're doing, you can make that happen. And then, to me, the thing, and there's a lot of typing in here that I haven't had a chance to digest yet, so I'm going to try and talk about all of it. To me, the place where indirect fire becomes powerful is in the multiplication of the hits. If you can get a template to land on more than one model at a time, you have effectively at least doubled the number of weapons that you're firing, right? So if your one Rocket 10 hits 2 models, you get to roll twice. That's incredible efficiency for your model. And so if you miss, I don't know, 6 times out of 10, but those 4 times that you hit, you manage to land on more than one model, you're back to normal, or you're coming back up onto the normal hit rate. And if you can arrange it so that you're only missing, let's say, 33% of the time, and you get to hit a couple of 2, 3, 4 plus models, your economy is going up through the roof. You're just doing work. Well, Krugerian, lots of Banshees is always good. So obviously the 800-pound gorilla in the room is that the Banshees are kind of low armor and they're very short ranged. And so you've got to get in close. There are better tanks in the game. There are definitely better tanks in the game, I think. Now, I love Banshees. Banshees are good. But I think the Spatha is a better platform for destroying things, personally. That said, if you can get those Banshees in there and overdrive that gun and hit with it, you're golden. That said, I also own probably 20 or 30 Banshees, of which I need to design a force around just so I can play all of them. 100% for sure. Yeah. Well, I agree. So pound for pound, the Banshee's gun does more damage, but and this is, trust me, I'm a gigantic Spatha fan, so I'm going to argue for the Spatha 24 and 7. But my take is that the fact that the Spatha can salvo fire its 3 medium max into 1 medium mac with a +3 to hit is incredible. So it has range, it has flexibility in terms of controlling its own to hit modifier. It's got blaster. All right, so let's make sure I'm saying this right. It's got blaster 1, I think. It crits on a 10. So that's not that hard to hit. And when the strength of your base weapon is enough to threaten the target, you get 4 shots at rolling a 10. I don't know the math off the top of my head, but it's 4 shots at a chance at a 10 is not terrible. You're going to get a 10 in there between a couple of Spathas firing. True. You do have to pay for some of that stuff. The Spatha is also harder to kill. How fast is the Banshee? I can't recall. Is it speed 7? Speed 8? I think it's speed 9 or something like that. It's like just short of double time, I think. I don't... Does it really have double time? I don't remember it having double time. I want to say it's a 9, but I don't have the cards handy where I can look them up right now. So... All right, let's just make up some colors here. So I got this paint out that I'm never going to use for anything else last week. If it has double time, I have overlooked it because I love double time. I love double time a lot. There's a little bit of blue. What am I going to throw in here to go with this blue? I need something kind of greenish. Got any cheap green I can throw down here? I mean, he looks at his shelf. Yeah, right there. Cheap green. So yeah, I mean, to me, going back to the indirect fire conversation, what you're trying to do is you're trying to turn those misses. You're trying to get your money back on those misses when you hit multiple models. At least that's what I think is happening there. There's no water in my cup. Who let me come in here without water in my cup? That's just unneighborly. Tiger Wraith, what are you doing to me? Wow. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize they had a bit of double time. That is freaking sweet. All right, so that's some of the compensation for the hard double time, improved handling, which is we need. Well, hold on. Improved handling. Improved handling. Tiger Wraith is the move up one, move over one. Correct. Improved superior mobility is the one that lets you move through the rough terrain. Yeah, God, the Banshee is such a good vehicle. I think, but it's like Armor 4 or something crazy like that. Is the only thing wrong with it. And I still love them. I need to desaturate that just a little bit. I need some black in there. There's some black right there. Yeah, absolutely, Kruger. And I mean, I'm not trying to beat you up about it. It's got its place. It's not. It used to be. I think it used to be too powerful in Cav. And honestly, well, that's too much black. Good Lord. This is going to be one of those nights where I just end up stirring paint together until it dries, and then I go home and I am home actually. Go downstairs and cry in my dinner over how much paint I wasted. So here's a subject that came up when we were talking about the game we played a couple of weekends ago. It was really about scenario design. So a lot of tabletop scenarios involve the basic ideas of go someplace and control a thing by staying there, touching it, picking it up, moving it, something along those lines. Yeah, improved handling lets you move at a diagonal. Let's talk about that in just a minute. So a lot of scenario design involves around controlling a point, right? So I'm gonna move up to point A. I'm gonna take control of this thing, and I'm gonna retain control of it by having the most models around it, or the most hit points, or just something along those lines, right? Some kind of thing in that vein. Here's the problem with that when it comes to Cav, all right? Because of the way the indirect fire rules work, if I have to sit in a spot to control an objective, the indirect fire guy just loves that, because now he gets to shoot at the same spot over and over again and pick up that bonus, right? So it kind of constricts scenario design just a little bit, in that you have to be very careful with the way you write a scenario, that you don't make people vulnerable. That kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Did I come close to that? Maybe. So that you don't make people super vulnerable to just getting bombed off the face of the map while they're trying to control the objective. All right. So now let's talk real quickly about improved handling. Because improved handling is really, it's a gigantic movement advantage. All right. Here, let me set this terrain piece out of the way. Let me peel up this here piece of paper so we can take a look at this dirty board I got right here. All right, so improved handling. These are basically 1-inch squares. And so if I recall correctly, improved handling says when you move forward an inch, you can move over an inch. Okay? So what you've really done is you've moved this way. You've moved along this diagonal. Okay? And so now we get into a little Pythagorean theorem. Okay? So the length of this hypotenuse of this triangle is the square root of the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So 1 inch squared plus 1 inch squared is 2. And so this hypotenuse is the square root of 2. So the square root of 2 is more than 1. And so what happens is you get this model that can move further than 1 inch for every inch it moves. Let's see if I got a model handy. All right. So we got a model here, right? And I want to move this way, right? My goal is to end up over here. So what I can do is I can take advantage of that. I'm moving much further than my move. If my move were 4, right, and I wanted to move 4 inches, I could move from this line. Let's make sure I'm on lines that you can actually see. I think I have whacked the camera or something. Anyway, can you see this? You can see this line right here. So if I had a movement of 4, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's as far as I could move, right? But using this diagonal thing, right, I start out here, and I essentially go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I've reached the same line, but this distance is much further. And I'm not constrained to these coordinates on the map, right? So if I want to go towards this enemy over here, I can use that movement to effectively get closer to him than my standard movement would imply. Well, Tiger Wraith, unfortunately, the rules say to move up 1 and over 1. They don't say move 10 inches at a diagonal. If your movement was 10, then you're not doing improved handling. That's literally not what the rules say to do. So those people are wrong, Tiger Wraith. They're not playing the improved handling the way it's written. Because what it says is do this. You and I had this conversation at CavCon. I don't know if you remember, but we had this conversation at CavCon. Anyway, back to the painting. You can leverage improved handling to move further than your movement. That's the truth. It works that way. All right, where was I? Am I painting on this model? Because I don't see any of this blue. Oh well, I don't know what I'm doing. I've been distractified. Tiger Wraith, you got me. What is a Super Hornet? I'm not familiar with it. But it sounds like it probably has improved handling. Ooh, that's a lot. Well, we're just going. We're just going to slap paint on this thing until we're unhappy. And then we're going to say we don't care because it's a piece of terrain. Hard pop-up, double time, improved handling, turret. Wow, that thing has practically every advantage in the book. Wow. Yeah, yeah, it's just a little advantage, right? When you take a look at improved handling, it says move up 1, move over 1. Well, Pythagoras tells us that distance is the square root of 2, which is greater than 1. So you can get extra movement beyond your move characteristic, beyond the number of your move characteristic by moving with improved handling. Just going heavy. I don't care. These are buildings. They get to be buildings. Crew Grand, I'll do the math for you. It's okay. I got your back, buddy. I will do the math for you. It's been a long time since I actually did any real math, but I can handle this simple stuff. I got you. This is, so I puzzled all this, well, puzzled out. I mean, it was always there. But back when I played those airplanes in the War Master tournament, that's when it occurred to me while I was tinkering around with them that they really moved square root of 2. So if you flew at an angle towards the place you wanted to go anyway, you got there sooner because you got extra movement. Caveat emptor. I could always be wrong. Pretty sure I'm right, though. Pretty sure I double-checked that one with John back in the day. Unless he's done something in the errata I'm not aware of. So maybe I'm giving you bad advice. That would not be the first time I've done that. So, caveat emptor. Yes, there we go. That is one of my favorite things to do as well. I love the pop-up attack, though. I always want to really try and find a way to leverage the pop-up attack, because the idea of being able to shoot people and not get shot back is near and dear to my heart. Makes me also want to sit down and design an all soft model force. Not that there's any particular advantage to the soft models in and of themselves, but just like when you show up at a battle and the enemy's max are just effing useless, that can be pretty. That's pretty good. You're ahead of the game already. Yeah, I mean, I feel like every table should probably have at least one piece of level 2 terrain where you can get behind and do that sort of thing. It's not, I don't think it's not uncommon. It shouldn't be uncommon, I would think. All right, that's getting there. It's not the same as the other buildings, but I'm not done yet either, so. Nah, not gonna bother with it. I'm just here to get stuff done. You poor people, you're going to be watching me do this for a long time. I got so many buildings to get assembled and painted. Voila! Oh, looks like we finally wore everybody out with our talk of banshees and pop-ups, and I think we probably killed them with the improved handling. Alright, that one's done for now. Yeah, I get it, Gimli. I get it completely. I'm just wrapping up at this point. There's no sense trying to go any further with these. Yeah, true, true. I was, well, hold on, I'll tell you the story in just a second. You put up these buildings! They must be put away. Put your toys up. Clean your room. So recently we got a local GW store to open up. And while I'm not a giant fan of GW in general, they have nice models and I own a bunch of them, and many of them are unpainted, and they're having hobby days. So I've been going, and it turns out the manager of the store is actually a really good friend of mine. So he wasn't allowed to tell me, so that was kind of a nice surprise. And so I was in there the other day, and I think Tiger Ray saw me post about this, and they were these veteran GW painters, right? And they're pretty good. I mean, many of them that are very respectable painters. They were complaining about how hard it is to paint yellow, and I was just like, "Yep, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yellow is the devil. Yellow is the devil." At least I know how to make that tire rubber stuff now. I won't have to waste my good paint. All right, folks, the last couple of minutes. If you got anything you want to say, you want to tell me to shut up, and I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to Banshees. You'd probably be right. John's coming up on Wednesday. I know that Dualcast is racing forward. I don't know if you saw last Wednesday, he had some Dualcast models that were made locally. And those he allegedly were going to go up on the site for sale. So if you haven't already checked, there might be some Tuseki 2s that are for sale. Oh yeah, Hastur. Of course. Hastur is in the details. And the corners, especially the really strange non-Euclidean ones. Actually, that's the Hounds of Tindalos, isn't it? Things that come out of these strange corners. Anyway, probably should stop talking about this stuff before something bad happens. But yeah, John had some Dualcast Tuseki 2s that he said were going up. I saw like 50 of them in a picture he sent. So those things should definitely be for sale. And those things are a terror on the table. They are a terror. I will say it again, a terror on the table. You should definitely buy some and field them. Send them to hunt those pesky fire support models that Krugerrand is murdering people with. Or at least he's training to murder people with them. I really appreciate you all dropping by. It was nice. It's a lot of fun when there are people here to chit-chat with. Glad to see some of you coming back in. Hopefully we'll have some big news in the near future in terms of Dualcast releases and John getting his processes up and running 100 miles an hour. But that's pretty much all I got for tonight. I will see you next Monday. Come back to Terrain Central. We'll be sponging more buildings like I know that's exactly what you guys want to hear. Maybe in the meantime, I will have had a chance to hunt up some of these. What are those things called, Cthulhu, again? Jog my memory. The cards that you talked about earlier. What are they called? He scrolls back desperately trying to find the word. It starts with an L? Luchador cards? No, that's probably not it. Oh my gosh. Good Lord. 3D style trading cards. What are they called? Second, lenticular card. All right, I found it. Awesome. Lenticular pictures. Awesome. All right, gentlemen. Thanks for stopping by. Be safe. Be good. If you're doing any of that trick-or-treaty stuff in the near future, you know what to do there. Save me some candy because you know I need it. I will talk to you later. Bye.